In the world of tablets, Android tablets are bad, iPads are good. That's been the general consensus even among the most hardened Android fanboys out there. Of course, Samsung's been trying its hand at making certain great tablets, but now we have the Xiaomi Pad 5. Now this is one Android tablet that I had the most fun using in a very long time, and it could very well be the legit iPad competitor out there. But is it an iPad killer? Now, my name is Ershad, you're watching Trakin Tech English, and this is an in-depth review of the Xiaomi Pad 5, which is priced really well. It's a 10.9-inch IPS LCD panel with FHD plus resolution, 650 nits of peak brightness, and most importantly, support for Dolby Vision. And the icing on the cake is the fact that it's a 120Hz refresh rate panel. You don't get 120Hz refresh rate on tablets at double the price of the Xiaomi Pad 5. In fact, the Tab S8 and the iPad Pro, which come with 120Hz refresh rate, are far more expensive. It feels super smooth to use, and the 120Hz refresh rate actually runs across the entire UI and many apps as well. But what I noticed is that apps like YouTube, Prime, Netflix, Hotstar all run at 60Hz because I don't think they are optimized for the Android tablet 120Hz ecosystem yet. Now, this is also a very good display with DCI-P3 color gamut. I did notice some bluish shade to the whites, but otherwise it was largely fine. Now, I did mention the Dolby Vision support on Netflix. You do get that on the iPad Air 5 as well, so I tested them side by side. And in a show like Bridgerton, I noticed that it was almost similar in terms of sharpness and detail and dynamic range as well, except for the fact that the iPad had slightly better facial tones. That's about it. And coupled with the quad speaker setup with Dolby Atmos support, it's a complete multimedia experience package. It's literally almost as good as the iPad Air 5. Now, Xiaomi has done something very interesting with the channel balance on the speakers as well. When you're holding it in landscape orientation, of course you get the left and right channels, but when you hold it in portrait orientation as well, Xiaomi moves that channel very dynamically along with the help of the gyroscope. Now, the one problem with this display is that it is a fingerprint magnet, just like the iPad Air 5 and many other tablets out there. So you might need a matte screen guard to protect from fingerprints and smudges. Also, what's a fingerprint magnet is this plastic rear panel, especially in this black color. So if you don't want fingerprints and if you don't like fingerprints and if you're going to be using your tablet naked, then I would say that you should pick up the white variant instead. And you know what? I'd like to be a magnet as well for your fingerprint to go and hit that red subscribe button. That was a really bad one, but please go ahead and do that. We love making videos like these for you, and of course, you'll get a notification whenever a new video is out live on the Trakin Tech English channel. And yes, the rear is actually made of plastic, but I don't really mind it because it helps keep the tablet really slim and light as well, and it feels fairly sturdy. I didn't find any structural rigidity issues, especially considering the price. But there are a couple of design decisions that I find completely odd. Is the fact that the Type-C port at the bottom is a USB 2.0 Type-C port, and of course there's no video out as a result. That's something that I absolutely love while using tablets. I actually like taking video out to a display. And the other problem is the placement of the 8 megapixel front camera. It's actually on the top bezel when held in portrait orientation and on the left bezel when held in landscape orientation. And that's not ideal because it doesn't orient well in Zoom calls, and unlike the iPad, there's no feature like center stage or anything like that. And talking about that 8 megapixel camera on the front, it can also shoot full HD videos, and these full HD videos do look very good, and the pictures that come out of this selfie camera is not too bad either. It is definitely good for video calls, except for that weird orientation which sort of throws you off. In fact, there's a 13 megapixel camera on the rear with dual LED flash. Now, this 13 megapixel camera can also take good pictures, but I'm not somebody who takes pictures with a tablet. If you are that person, I'm probably going to be walking away from you. But I do like the fact that Xiaomi has rearranged the modes on the camera app, and you have easy access to the document capture mode, which is going to be very useful for students. And that's something that I actually used very recently as well when I had to send a passport to somebody. Now, there's also a 3-pin pogo port and a magnetic attachment for your smart pen and keyboard dock, both of which you will have to buy separately. And you know what, I'll actually talk about them in this video a little later on. Now, coming back to the design, the Xiaomi Pad 5 does feel nice to actually hold in the hand thanks to its slimness and low weight as well. Now, there is a power button on the top, but you don't get a fingerprint scanner with it like you would get on the Pro variant of the Xiaomi Pad 5, which is unfortunately not available in India. You can use the face unlock feature, but it's not really very secure and it doesn't work well in the dark. Now powering the tablet is a Snapdragon 860 system on chip. Now this chip is the most powerful one inside an Android tablet in this price range. I also do like the fact that Xiaomi has actually bumped up the base variant of the Xiaomi Pad 5 in India to 128 GB, and that matters primarily because you don't get a micro SD card slot with this one. You can also of course buy the 256 GB variant of this tablet, which also comes with 6 GB of RAM, which is the same on the 128 GB variant, and that's LPDDR4X RAM, plus you also get UFS 3.1 type storage, which is basically really fast. Now when it comes to performance, BGMI and Call of Duty run at top graphics settings, which wasn't even possible on the Dimensity 8100. Of course, that's because it's not optimized yet, but it was good to see that, BGMI and COD are running at such high graphics on this tablet. But you know what? I feel that Call of Duty and BGMI are not running at full HD resolution on the tablet, because I ran Grim Valor and Asphalt 9, and both of which look much sharper and proper high definition types compared to, Call of Duty or BGMI. Also, by the way, Grim Valor runs at 120 FPS. There are many games that run at 120 FPS, and that's really good to see. Daily performance is great too, especially with MIUI for Pad, which has very smooth animations, and it translates beautifully with the Snapdragon 860. But there are a few micro stutters here and there, not too annoying though. Now talking about MIUI for Pad, I really like the fact that Xiaomi has reimagined MIUI for the tablet from ground up. The first thing that will grab your attention is that dock, and that dock of course looks a lot like the iPad OS. And on this dock you can set your list of applications, and there'll be a couple of applications that are recent applications. Of course, you can also invoke this dock from just about anywhere, from any app. And as far as multitasking is concerned, you can get a split screen with 2 apps and 1 extra floating window, or you can get 1 app running in the background, and you can have 2 floating windows on the front. Unfortunately, like Samsung's Galaxy line of tablets, you don't get app pairs, or you don't even get the DeX mode, which would have been a nice feature for especially a tablet that's this powerful. What's also nice to see is that first-party apps like Calculator, Notes, Weather have also been reworked from the ground up. So when you use them in landscape mode, you will see that there is more information being laid out, especially considering the fact that there's no Calculator app on the iPad. Did you know that? If you didn't, let me know in the comment section below. Software is obviously Android 11 based on MIUI Pad, like I mentioned, and Xiaomi says that there will be an upgrade to Android 12L, which is Google's very own take on a tablet OS. So we'll have to wait and watch if that actually pans out. And you know what? MIUI on this tablet is the cleanest implementation of MIUI I've seen yet. There are very few third-party apps, very few first-party apps as well. It's just very nice. I really hope that Xiaomi would implement similarly on at least the flagship phones. Now, finally, let me talk about the accessories that you can buy separately if Xiaomi starts selling it, because there's literally no information about it. I'm of course talking about the Xiaomi Smart Pen and the Xiaomi Smart Keyboard. Now let's start off with the Smart Pen. Xiaomi hasn't shared the latency numbers for the Smart Pen, but it has a pressure sensitivity of 4096 pressure points, which is not too bad. And I'll tell you why Xiaomi hasn't shared it, because it's not as smooth and as responsive as the Apple Pencil on an iPad or S Pen on a Samsung tablet, which is actually fine if Xiaomi prices it really low, just like the tablet out here. Now the Smart Pen is actually very good. Otherwise, it's got a lot of features, especially the fact that you can dock it on the tablet itself, and it connects via Bluetooth, and you get the battery life level as soon as you dock it as well. And interestingly, you can also use the Smart Pen to control the UI itself, which is not possible with the Apple Pencil on the iPad. The first button, what it does is it actually cycles between the different pens within the Notes app, and the second button, when you long press it, you can actually take a screenshot and annotate it for whatever purposes that you need. Now I did ask Xiaomi if the Smart Pen will also get API support so that third-party developers can use it, but no response. And unlike the S Pen, which has air gestures, this one doesn't have that, but that's okay. That's not a huge problem. And now the Smart Keyboard that you can attach to the Xiaomi Pad itself feels very premium, and it doesn't weigh the tablet down too much. It's not too bad. And the key travel on this keyboard is about 1.2 to 1.4 millimeters, and it's fairly decent, not too bad. But I must mention that you can prop the tablet only in a single orientation, which is a bit of a letdown. I hope that there would have been more, but it's fine. That orientation is one of the best ones out there. Now the battery inside the Xiaomi Pad 5 is an 8720 mAh unit. You can easily expect about 4 to 5 days of basic usage. I've been using it for the past week and a half, and it hasn't drained yet. Although Xiaomi does only bundle a 22.5 watt charger inside the box, but the Xiaomi Pad 5 can actually charge up to 33 watt charging speeds. Now Xiaomi's take on that is that Anyone who buys the Xiaomi Pad 5 will also have a Xiaomi phone or a 33-watt charger lying around. But that's just weird. Does that mean that Xiaomi doesn't want to sell it to anybody else who's interested in an Android tablet? You will have to buy the 33-watt charger separately, because trust me, it's worth it, because it can actually charge the tablet from 0 to 100 in 1 hour and 39 minutes, which shaves off at least 20-25 minutes from what it would take with the 22.5 watt charger. By the way, there's no GPS on this Wi-Fi only variant, which is the only variant that Xiaomi is selling in India right now. There's no LTE variant. But that not having GPS is not a huge deal, because I probably need GPS only for Google Maps in my personal experience, and Google Maps runs just fine. Now let me know if you guys have any other use for GPS that that I might not have or might have overlooked. Let me know in the comment section below. Now to close it out, the Xiaomi Pad 5 is easily my favorite Android tablet available in the market today. It's priced really well. It's got a lot of features. It's got a connected accessories ecosystem as well. I'm going to be recommending it left, right, and center. But the iPad loyalists will definitely tell you that the Apple iPad has far more premium apps and a connected ecosystem. The connected ecosystem part, I do agree. Although I must put that question out there: how many people are actually buying premium apps on an iPad? At least in India, I don't see a lot of people doing that. And for the apps that you use, for the basic apps that you use, for example, even something like Instagram is actually a full app on the Xiaomi Pad 5, which it is not on the iPad, which is kind of weird, right? So if you've made up your mind about buying an Android tablet, I would easily recommend the Pad 5 over an iPad, because I know and understand that Android fanboys don't really want to get out of that ecosystem either, primarily because of the open nature of it and the way you can connect it to multiple devices to share stuff as well. So those are the things that definitely give the Xiaomi Pad 5 an edge over something like an iPad, although I will end up using an iPad because ecosystem. Anyway, which is the tablet that you like? Let me know in the comment section below. I hope you guys like the review as well. Until next time, this is Ershad signing off. Keep tracking and stay safe.